Hey everyone's JackelWolf back in Sky Factory 4 with another 5 minutes. That's how I did it. Now, if you've been following along, you know that we are working our way through the advancement book. Last episode, we did the Age of Enchantment. We did the It's Over 20, inflict 20 or more damage to a creature. We actually did that in two different ways. One was the way I discovered by accident, but it was a totally legitimate way. The other way was the way I was planning on doing it, which was kind of funny because you would have thought I would have accidentally done it previously, but as it was, I just happened to accidentally do it at the same time that I was actually trying to do it. So it kind of worked out in a way, but it was kind of a little bit of a funny chain of events. This episode, I want to finish off this page here. There is nothing really exciting on this page. I think the coolest is probably this Unbroken advancement. Everything else on here is kind of like I'm doing it because it's on the page. I'm not doing it because it's going to help me in my world anywhere. I'm just simply doing it because it's on the page. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and start with the first advancement, and that's going to be the Shhhhhhh, which is to craft a Mekanism Muffling Upgrade to decrease the machine volume. Now, most of the Mekanism machines aren't that loud. I mean, if you had a whole bunch going off at the same time, yeah, maybe it might get a little bit disturbing, but they're not as loud as some of the other machines out there. The geothermal generator with the, getting the lava into it or automating the lava, that is loud. That needs like a full-on muffler. The Mekanism, blocks, not so much, but to make a muffler, we are first going to need some steel blend. That is going to be some pulverized iron and some pulverized coal. Both of these are very, very simple to make. They are just, coal or iron run through like enrichment chambers, squeezers, mechanical squeezers, crushers, manufactories. Super, super simple to make. One pulverized iron, one pulverized coal gets us a steel blend. We're going to take that steel blend, 2 glass. I've just got 2 random glass I had, floating around, and 2 enriched alloy. That gets us our muffling upgrade. So there you go. There is that advancement. And because I took off my armor, for some reason it thinks I'm trying to fly and like I'm falling or something, I end up taking a ton of damage. We're going to go and eat up and get that one back up. But we can come over here. Right now I've got this, my elite sawing factories going. They are producing sticks for the black hole unit. This is something that I've started, and I'm going to get like 2 billion of these things. I don't even know if I'm ever going to finish this one here. I've done the first half of the episode. We're kind of doing this. We'll come back when it's full and we'll sort of take a look at it then. But this is one of the mechanism blocks. You can hear that in the background. It is, not super loud. You don't have to go very far away before you can't hear it anymore. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this muffling upgrade. Listen very, very carefully. Actually, before I do that, let's turn this guy off. So we've only got noise from one. And again, you got to listen really, really carefully to kind of hear it. We're going to go into the upgrades tab. We're going to go shift click. It's going to put this muffler up here. This is only 1 out of 4. Didn't really help a lot. Maybe if we made 4 of them, and we'll probably get rid of it completely. Again, it's not really that loud of a thing. I'm not that concerned about it. Let's go turn that back on. And yeah, this is going to go start kicking out some more sticks. Next up, what we got here is... Oh yeah, the next up is probably the one, like... I don't even know why it's an advancement. This is an Enchanting Evening Crafting Enchantment Table. I don't know who in Minecraft doesn't know how to do an enchanting table. I don't know why this is an advancement in Sky Factory 4. This is a very, very vanilla thing to do. There's nothing non-vanilla about it. I guess getting some of the blocks maybe is a non-vanilla way of getting the blocks, but at the end of the day, I don't know why this is an advancement. But to make an enchanting table, it is a book, 2 diamonds, and 4 pieces of obsidian. There you go. We have made the advancement, An Enchanting Evening, and I'm just going to throw this down there, and I'm never going to use it because I've got Tinkers in this pack. I've got, Glitch Armor in this pack. I've got very, very little call to enchant anything. The one thing I did want to enchant was this pickaxe. We needed Silk Touch on it at one point, but I can't remember if we fished that book or if we crafted Silk Touch. I actually want to say we crafted it. Silk and a book. that gets us a Silk Touch book. So really, there's no call for that enchantment table. So that is one more down. Next up, what we're going to do is the Weirdly Mesmerizing, which is to craft a Weirding Gadget to chunk load a 5x5 chunk area. This is not a bad thing, especially if you've got machines going off in maybe like different dimensions, or you've got stuff like a very long base where you're actually so far away it starts unloading that chunk because you're not there. This is basically a very small chunk loader. To make a Weirding Gadget, it is 3 gold ingots, 4 blocks of gold, a iron ingot, and an Eye of Ender. We're going to click that there. I've got no real use for this in my world, but we can pretend that, my, fission reactor was a long ways away, and, it was outside of my render distance and my chunk loading distance and all of that. And I wanted to make sure it was running at all times. Now, I would need, a lot more of these to make it work because this only does 5x5. But we would place this down, and this would keep this 5x5 area completely loaded at all time as a chunk. So it should go from the bottom of the void all the way to the top of the ceiling there. And all of that would be loaded constantly no matter what. But not much use in my world at this time, and I don't really have any plans in the future. I think that's going to call for that. So again, not the most useful. It's one of the reasons I haven't, gone and tackled that advancement yet. Next up, what we've got is the Hot Pockets, which is to craft an ender pouch and left shift right click on an ender chest to connect them. So to do that, we are first going to need a ender chest. To make an ender chest, it is 4 blaze rods, 2 obsidian, a white wool, a chest, and a ender pearl. And then what we're going to need is the ender pouch, which is 4 blaze powder, 3 leather, an ender pearl, and a white wool. And for some reason, it gives me the advancement right away. I was testing this earlier to make sure I had all my stuff set up. And yeah, it says the advancement is to shift or right click it, but it gives you the advancement just by getting it. So what we can do is we can go take that ender chest, we can put it down, we can open it up. There's our ender stuff. We'll throw that GPS marker. We'll throw that materials and you in there. And then we can open this up. And there you go. I didn't even have to shift right click it. I don't know why. It's automatically connected. Maybe if I had more ender chests in my world, I would need to associate it with it. But I did nothing. It is automatically connected. This is kind of useful if, say, you're in another dimension and you wanted to send stuff back to this dimension without, setting up any sort of, other type of interdimensional system. For around just, the overworld here, I've got my simple storage remote. There is a similar one for the ME storage as well. There's no real call for it. This is mainly, between dimensions is probably the best way of using it. So, again, something that is kind of cool, but not a whole lot of use unless you've got a use for it. Last but not least, we've got one last advancement left on this page. That is the Unbroken, which is to craft an Unbreakable Tinkers Construct Tool or weapon. Now, this is kind of cool. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. To make it unbreakable, we are going to need 5 reinforcement modifiers. To make a reinforcement modifier, it is any cast in the system. I've got a bunch of blank casts I accidentally made early on. I am still working through them. I think I've only got about 1 left, which is good. But it is any cast and 8 pieces of obsidian. That gets you 1 reinforcement. Each reinforcement will do 20% reinforcing on a tool or a weapon, and it is limited to the ones that you can use it for. And you know what? I need that materials and let's go and grab that out of our ender chest there. Materials and we're going to go back to the beginning, and we're going to go to the modifiers and find the reinforcing, which is right here. You can see we can put it on picks, we can put it on the mallets, bows, and arrows, and there we go, back to the pick. So those are the 4 items that you can place it on. It does not work with the other tools. It doesn't work with other weapons. That is basically all you can really use it for. So to do it, we're going to end up needing a tool with 5 modifiers. Now, I could take sort of any sort of regular tool and, build it up to the point where I've got room for 5 modifiers, or I could just take a base paper tool. This is very similar to how we did the armor mods advancements. Just for the sake of getting the advancement, a paper tool will work fine. So we've got a paper pick axe head. we're going to have a paper binding, and then we're going to have a paper tool rod. And let's take that out. Actually, let's throw them back here so I don't lose them again. And we're going to come into our tool forge. We're going to click on the pickaxe. So paper rod, paper binding, and paper pickaxe head. And as you can see, we're going to shift click there. We've got room for 5 modifiers. So that is perfect. In the tool forge area, in the sort of like the upgrade tab, we're going to put the paper pickaxe there. We're going to put 5 reinforcement plates. So it's going to use one at a time, reinforced 20%, reinforced 40%, reinforced 60%, reinforced 80%, and then finally reinforced unbreakable. There is our advancement complete. JackelWolf has completed the challenge, completionist. So we can open this up, and there you go. So we got all of the advancements on the Age of Enchantment page, including this last one, which is the Unbroken. And basically what that means is this pickaxe will not break. So I can go and, click there, and there is 0 wear and tear on that pickaxe, which is really, really good. I can go from here. I can, add a couple of different, parts and pieces, and I can upgrade it some more, where it's going to be able to do more than just mining level of stone. So not a great mining level as a start, but there's other things I can add to it that will make this actually a useful tool. So this is kind of a cool way to start, but that is going to be it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below in the comments if you did any of these advancements any differently than I did, especially some of the ones that I don't see a use for. Let me know if you've got a use for them, something that maybe I am overlooking, or something that I got to consider for my world that might actually make those things a little bit more useful. But if you enjoyed this video, please think about leaving a like and a subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JackelWolf. Also, check out the description below. There will be a link to my Discord page. I would love it if you guys stop by to say hi. As well, there will be a link to my Patreon page. If you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy this content and you want to support, stop by, check it out. There are a lot of great perks out there for all of my supporters, but that is it. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.